third down and 1 inside the 1. It is Steele again.
And it is a touchdown for the Huskies.
I'm Wes Fromm here with head coach Tom Kearly as we get set for week 10 of the football season. Coach, coming off a big win against Ashland, nationally ranked opponent, and able to get the job done. A lot of big time plays you guys made in that game and got it done.
Well, I thought probably, Wes, probably as well as we played all year. You know, that first half against Grand Valley, we were probably as good as, you know, as we could play. But for 60 minutes, all phases, you know, in little things, you know, we didn't turn the ball over. We got a couple. You know, we stayed on the field offensively in third down. We got off the field defensively in third down. You know, our scoring chances, by and large, we scored. We kept them out of the end zone, by and large. And you know, I thought we played 60 minutes is probably as well as we played all year.
Wind, again, a factor in this game. They were able to have that wind in that first quarter and went down and scored. Yeah, but we got the extra point block, and that seemed to give us a little boost.
I thought it did. It's one of those where, you know, they score first and we got to score to get it back tied, and then all of a sudden you block that extra point, and now you're one score from being in the lead. And I think you could almost kind of feel it on the sidelines that there was a little bit of an uplift that we're going to be okay.
And that's what you did. You take the lead 7-6. Zach Skeels, first of his 2 touchdowns early on in that game. They punt, and right again we put it back in the end zone. A big long drive in that second quarter.
Right. The second quarter where we got 2 scores down there. Both. We hit a couple of plays, on a reverse pass and screens, and and Tyler made a great play on a 3rd and 8 where they had him sacked, and he got out of trouble, scrambled and hit Anthony Root down to the 1 or 2 yard line, on a 3rd down from probably about the 30, which we'd have probably at least kicked a field goal, maybe even had to punt.
Yeah, able to go into halftime up. Big play at the end of that half was Ben Talkin making a tackle at the goal line on that Hail Mary.
Right, that was, and the play before that was huge because they were in probably where they could have attempted a field goal. Nelson Winkie had the sack, so that put them into the the Hail Mary. And our kids did what we were told them to do. They got up in the air and knocked it down. It went right into their kid's hands, and he fell forward. And we were fortunate that he didn't cross the goal line, and that got us in with a 9-point lead. What I think it was, and then. They came right out the second half. To Ashland's credit, they took it right down the field and scored on us, and then went for 2 to tie it and didn't get it, so we're up 2. And I thought the key point in that whole football game was in the next drive offensively. We took the ball, went down and scored, and went from 2 up to 9 points up, and now you're up 2 scores. Middle of the third quarter.
And kind of showing the microcosm of the game was you converted 3 times on 3rd down during that drive, including the scoring play.
Right. And that was that was Tyler's call. It was almost like a 2-point play for him, where he had his choices, and he made the kid commit and then pitch it to Charlie, and Charlie beat their remaining player to the sideline or into the end zone.
That one puts you up by 9 points, I think it was at that time, and then you were able to finish it off in the fourth quarter. Kind of a fluky play with the double tip, and it ends up in Winkie's hands, and he hits the end zone.
That's where it might be your day when that one happens. I mean, we had a sucker play called, and he's to hit Ian Winkie, and Ian's open, and he overthrows him, and it goes over the top of Ian, and should have probably been picked, and hits their kid's helmet and bounces right back into Ian's hands, and he walks into the end zone. I mean, that's one you don't ask questions at that one. You just take it and move on to the next one, and say your prayers or whatever.
Defense had a couple takeaways in the second half. Nick Brajak stepping in front of a ball, and that was at a critical point in the game. I think that one set up that 3rd touchdown for us.
Right. Both he and Deshaun Nelson had key picks, both very athletic plays. Both of those, you're right, I think both of those we scored after those picks.
We're coming off a big win now, but you still got one more to go against Lake Erie College. What do we know about them?
Well, they've been in a lot of track meets, I guess, if you would. People have scored on them, but they've scored on everybody. The one that, of course, I think jumps at everybody is them putting 55 on the board against Ferris a few weeks ago. And the back that they have is a really great back. He can make you miss. He can run through you. We've stressed it all week, or or have during our practice sessions and film sessions, if we don't tackle him, he's going to break him. You better be on your feet. Your base better be low. You better wrap up, or he's going to make you look bad.
Well, I think Wayne State did probably as good a job as anybody against him. He still scored 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, you look at the statistics, like he's got, I don't know, he's like 60 yards a game better than anybody else in the league, and I don't know, he's got double the touchdowns or something than anybody else in the league's got. He's got some phenomenal numbers.
Well, we had the ball for 40 minutes at the 60 against Ashland, almost 40 minutes. How important is possession time, again, against the offense that's good?
Well, that's something that we would like to have. I mean, that's one where if we take care of the football and stay on the field, that's the thing. A great quarterback or a great back can't beat you, if they're on the sidelines, and that's something that we're hoping happens.
Coach, number 3 in the region this week. You got to be happy about where you're sitting, especially compared to where you were a week ago.
Well, we got a nice turn in the standings and in the committee, and how all that works, the numbers, and it's all still early. There's still a lot of things can happen. I know that situation with us in Ohio Dominican is that's a coin flip. I mean, that who knows what that could come down to. I mean, that I think if from what I've heard, if the information is right, Wes, I mean, if we both take care of business, which that's the first focus that we have to do. But if we take care of business, that could actually, I think, come down to a Wayne State Hillsdale score on our strength of schedule versus Ohio Dominican, because our schedules are just so even.
Wow. Your 8 wins on the season, 8-1. Only 8 teams in school history have gotten to 8 wins. So got to be pretty happy with where we're at, and just looking at it from a historical perspective.
Well, I don't know how many have won 9. Not very many.
I think 3 previous.
I believe so. We had that team in 04 that won the first 9 and then lost the last 2. And I know there was one there in the early 90s where they went 9-1 on an independent schedule. And of course, I think Coach Cap had a team in '74 that I think went 9-0. So there's some great things out there. But we've tried very hard as a staff. And our kids have done a great job of staying in the moment, keeping all the distractions away from them, and just concentrating on trying to win one football game each week.
Well, you got a big one on Saturday. In case people don't know out there, schools are closed today on a Tuesday because of snow, so we're going to have to plow that thing off, but should be ready to go for Saturday.
Well, they'll do a great job. I mean, they're used to helping us in the spring, and our grounds people will have that thing ready. The snow's supposed to stop middle of the day Wednesday, and by Saturday, it'll be cold, but not supposed to be a lot of wind, and they'll get that field ready, and it'll with the turf being suitable to run on, we'll be fine.
Look forward to the game, Coach.
Great. Thanks, Wes.